Have you ever thought that a dinosaur could be both the most powerful and the most helpless creature at the same time? Or that a being talked about for millions of years could actually surprise you? Well, that's exactly what we're doing today. I can safely say you're about to meet Tyrannosaurus Rex all over again. Sure, you might think you already know him. But are you really sure? Because the giant dinosaur in your head might be very different from the real thing. Get ready, because some of this will confuse you, some will shock you, and some will be hard to believe. So sit back and get comfortable, because this journey is going to be a lot more interesting than you think. All right, let's begin with our first feature, and there really is no better place to start. T-Rex's size. Now, some of you might be thinking, we already know this, but hold on for a second. Have you actually heard the numbers? T-Rex could reach lengths of approximately 12 to 13 meters. That's roughly as long as a 4-story building laid on its side. And its weight? Somewhere between 8 and 14 tons. To put that into perspective, picture 2 African elephants standing side by side, and you're pretty much there. Now, try to imagine actually being in the same environment as a creature like that. Just the thought of it is awe-inspiring, isn't it? So how much do you think something this massive needed to eat? Well, research suggests that T-Rex could consume anywhere from 100 to 500 kilograms of meat per day. Yes, you heard that right. 500 kilograms every single day. Fueling a body that enormous meant it had to feed almost constantly. But then the question becomes, how could something this big and this heavy actually move? How did it hunt? Well, the answers to those questions are going to seriously challenge your perception as we go through the rest of this video. But for now, just know this T-Rex wasn't just massive, it was disproportionate in every way, and every bit as mysterious as it was enormous. Now let's move on to our second feature. And this time, we're going to talk about something that doesn't get nearly enough attention when it comes to T-Rex. Its eyes. Yes, you heard that right, this giant monster's eyes. Have you ever actually wondered what T-Rex's vision was like? Most people think of T-Rex as just a big and powerful predator, but we're talking about a dinosaur that has been seriously underestimated when it comes to its eyesight. T-Rex's eyes were located at the front of its skull, which gave it an incredible sense of depth perception. Just like an eagle, it could precisely calculate exactly how far away something in front of it was. Research estimates that T-Rex's field of vision could reach up to approximately 6 kilometers. 6 kilometers! Just think about that, a 13-meter-long creature that could spot you from 6 kilometers away. Do you think you'd even have a chance of escaping? On top of that, T-Rex's eyes were roughly 13 times larger than a human eye. That made it not only powerful, but also an incredibly sharp-sighted predator. So if you're sitting there thinking, it probably just ran around blindly and got lucky, you are completely wrong. T-Rex could literally locate, pursue, and anticipate you. Now, let's talk about perhaps the most mocked feature of T-Rex, those famous little arms. Yes, you all know about them, you're all surprised, but let's think about this a little more logically. Why would a creature that is 13 meters long and weighs 14 tons have such tiny arms? Was it a design flaw, or did they actually serve a purpose? Let's start with the numbers. T-Rex's arms were approximately 1 meter long, which, compared to that enormous body, is almost astonishingly short. So what were these arms actually used for? Honestly, scientists still haven't been able to fully answer that question. One theory suggests that T-Rex used its arms to push itself up off the ground when it was lying down. Another theory suggests they served a short-term function for gripping prey. But here's the thing, these arms were so short that T-Rex couldn't even reach its own mouth. Just think about that for a second. The most formidable predator the world has ever seen couldn't even touch its own face with its hands. Doesn't that sound a little tragic? But maybe these arms didn't matter at all because T-Rex's real weapon was somewhere else entirely. So what about its intelligence? Now, this is a feature that is truly up for debate and will mess with your head a little. Because when you think of Tyrannosaurus Rex, you probably picture nothing more than a dinosaur that runs, hunts, and eats. But is that actually true? First things first, T-Rex's brain was quite small compared to its body size. But that didn't make it irrational. Research reveals that Tyrannosaurus Rex neuron count was far greater than previously estimated. In fact, some scientists suggest that T-Rex's level of intelligence was closer not to modern reptiles, but rather to certain species of birds. So, what does that mean? Maybe Tyrannosaurus Rex was a far more strategic hunter than we give it credit for. Maybe it wasn't just chasing its prey. Maybe it was planning. Maybe it was setting things up. Of course, none of this can be said with absolute certainty, but fossil findings and brain structure analyses show us that Tyrannosaurus Rex may have had a far more complex mental structure than we ever imagined. So we're not talking about a genius here, but calling it just an animal wouldn't be doing it justice either. So what do you think? Was T-Rex truly an intelligent hunter, or was it just a very lucky giant? Now let's get to one of the least talked about, but perhaps most striking features of Tyrannosaurus Rex: its sense of smell. Yes, this giant dinosaur's nose. Have you ever actually wondered how T-Rex tracked down its prey? Just with its eyes? No, there was a far more powerful strategy at play. A large portion of T-Rex's brain was dedicated to the function of smell. So while its brain was small, a significant part of that small brain was working solely to process scent. Research suggests that T-Rex's sense of smell may have surpassed even that of modern dogs. Just think about that, dogs already have an incredible sense of smell, but Tyrannosaurus Rex was beyond even that. In pitch darkness, in dense forests, from kilometers away, it could still find you, which means hiding from T-Rex was nowhere near as easy as you might think. Maybe you could escape its eyes, but escaping its nose was nearly impossible. So let me ask you again, do you still think T-Rex hunted purely through brute force? Because it's looking like this dinosaur was a far more well-equipped predator than we ever gave it credit for. Now let's get to perhaps the most striking moment of the video: T-Rex's bite force. And let me tell you this right now. When you hear these numbers, you won't be able to believe your eyes. Are you ready? T-Rex's bite force is measured at approximately 35,000 to 57,000 newtons. Does that number not mean anything to you? Then let me put it this way. The average human bite force is around 700 newtons, meaning Tyrannosaurus Rex bit approximately 50 to 80 times harder than a human. But here's what's even more fascinating. T-Rex could crush not just flesh, but bone as well. Fossil findings revealed traces showing that Tyrannosaurus Rex completely shattered the bones of its prey. So even if the prey had been running, the moment it was caught, it was all over. A single bite was all it took. So what did it mean to have a jaw this powerful? Tyrannosaurus Rex didn't need to struggle for long periods of time to take down its prey. fast, precise, and devastating. A kind of perfect trap created by nature itself. Now, do you still want to keep making fun of those little arms? Because it didn't need them. Its jaw was already taking care of everything. Now let's get to one of the most misunderstood things about T-Rex. Its running speed. And there's something here that's going to surprise you, because that image of T-Rex you've seen in movies, sprinting at full speed, racing against cars, is pretty far from reality. Research suggests that T-Rex's maximum running speed was approximately 17 to 25 kilometers per hour. Now that might still sound fast, but think about this. The average person can run at around 15 to 20 kilometers per hour. So theoretically, a fit human could actually outrun a T-Rex. Because here's the secret. The vast majority of T-Rex's prey wasn't any faster than it was either. On top of that enormous body and weight of T-Rex simply wasn't built for speed. It relied on power and endurance rather than velocity. So even if it couldn't catch you right away, it could still follow you until you were completely exhausted. Now let's get to the feature you'd least expect from T-Rex. And I'm sure that when you hear this, you're going to say, wait, is that even possible? Because up until now, you've thought of T-Rex as nothing more than a dinosaur that preys, hunts, and dominates its environment. But what would you say if I told you that T-Rex may have also been a caring and devoted parent? Fossil findings and research provide serious clues suggesting that T-Rex actually looked after its young. Meaning, this giant dinosaur wasn't just hunting, it was also protecting and watching over its offspring. So, how did the reproductive process actually work? Tyrannosaurus rex is believed to have laid eggs, much like birds do. And these eggs were quite large, roughly the size of a football. But here's what's really interesting: baby T-Rexes were actually quite small and vulnerable when they were born. So the offspring of this massive predator were, in their early stages, incredibly fragile little creatures, which means the mother or father would have needed to protect them for a certain period of time. Just picture this, a 14-ton Tyrannosaurus rex standing guard next to its tiny little babies. Can you visualize that scene? Is it terrifying, or is it just as impressive as it is incredible? Maybe T-Rex had a far more complex social structure than we ever gave it credit for. And maybe calling it just a dinosaur would be the greatest injustice we could ever do to it. And now, we arrive at perhaps the most profound topic of the video: the end of T-Rex. How did the story of a creature that was the undisputed ruler of this planet for 66 million years come to an end? Have you ever actually thought about it? What could possibly stop something this powerful, this well-equipped? The answer is, no matter how strong you are, sometimes events beyond your control can turn everything upside down. Approximately 66 million years ago, an asteroid roughly 10 kilometers in diameter struck what is now the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. The energy released by this impact was thousands of times greater than humanity's most powerful weapons combined. The moment the asteroid hit, an enormous amount of dust and smoke rose into the atmosphere. Sunlight was almost completely blocked out. Plants withered, the food chain collapsed, and the world entered a long period of darkness. It didn't matter how powerful T-Rex was, how intelligent it was, or how skilled a hunter it was, none of it mattered anymore. Because there was nothing left to hunt. There was no food. There was no world left to survive in. And that is why Tyrannosaurus rex went extinct. Not because it was weak, but because it was unlucky. So what does this teach us? Maybe being the most powerful isn't always enough. Sometimes survival is determined not by your strength, but by your luck. And that's it. Tyrannosaurus rex went extinct millions of years ago, but the questions surrounding it still haven't ended. Maybe that's exactly why it's so fascinating. It was powerful, yet helpless. It was intelligent, yet unlucky. It was terrifying, yet at the same time, it was a parent. Maybe T-Rex is teaching us this. Nothing is as simple as it seems. Neither a monster nor a hero. Just a creature trying to be the best version of itself in its own time. If you enjoyed this video and learned something about T-Rex that you didn't know before, then I have one request. Like this video, and write in the comments which feature about T-Rex you found the most interesting. I'm genuinely curious. And if you don't want to miss content like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because this planet still holds thousands of secrets waiting to be discovered. And we are going to discover them together. See you in the next video.